Alright, hello everyone, Luke Smith here. Now, I'm pretty sure I've done all of the necessary files in all the Silent Hill games. We're going to do Dino Crisis files today. We're going to do them until like Dino Crisis 3, which I believe has files. So yeah, the Dino Crisis series doesn't really have much long files. This is not going to be like how you find them in game order. This is done by alphabetical order, but by looks it. This is on the Dino Crisis wiki. I'll put this in the description. It's full of ads, so you probably want to turn your ad blocker on for this sort of thing. So let us start. We're gonna go down this one and then down the next one. Let's do them in alphabetical order. So the first one might be a bit slow on the loading these up. This is a busy site. This is a chemical manual. I'm pretty sure chemical is spelt wrong. See, like ads are popping up all over the place. It's bloody ridiculous. It's like, actually no, this ain't an ad. This is just a thing. File can be found inside the lounge of the facility 2F. New product descriptions. Recovery aid. An aid, intensifier and multiplier. The four chemicals listed above feature our company's latest advancements. They are designed to perform exceptionally, particularly on the front lines, where only the minimum amount of equipment is accessible. Features. By mixing chemicals, the following two types of supplies can be created. Recovering type. It quickly recovers lost vitality. Anesthetic type. Apply to the need of a bullet or needle. It can put a target to sleep. Supplies that are produced by chemical mixing can be made even more effective with additional mixing. So it's basically saying, oh, you can mix the stuff and you can make it stronger. This game come out in like 98, I believe. It's like a Capcom game. Data for operation meeting. This file can be found in the display table inside the strategy room of the facility's first floor. Subject: reinforcement of ID management. Earlier in the week, there was a case in which someone used a terminal that rewrites the ID cards to gain unauthorized access. This person acquired the fingerprint data from the corpse of a staff member who had died in the accident. He forged the dead man's ID by using the fingerprint data and entered the laboratory area by way of the elevator. The problem is that the fingerprint collecting device can acquire usable fingerprint data even from a corpse. Obviously, because like corpses still have fingerprints unless you cut the fingers off. Since we will be having an experiment today, there will be many outsiders visiting the facility. When creating the ID cards for the guests, keep an eye on the device. It's basically like saying, oh, you can do this. Dead Man's Memo 1. This file can be found right next to the torn apart corpse inside the carrying out room B1. Carrying out room? Who calls a room carrying out room? It's goods out, I'm guessing. Today's to do. Prepare the DDKs needed to enter the laboratory area. Tomorrow, I have to go to the computer room to do maintenance on Dr. Kirk's computer. But I think I left the DDK at the large size elevator control room when I went there yesterday to do elevator maintenance. I'll have to check it later today. As for the other DDK, I think that rookie guy Tom, who was recently assigned to the laboratory area, has it. I'll have to borrow it from him. I have no idea. I have no idea how that jerk approached Kirk, but he seemed to have gained his complete trust. It is weird how nobody knows his past history. Dr. Kirk is the guy who basically invented the third energy, like working on the third energy project. Dead Man's Memo 2. This file can be found on the floor near the dead body inside materials room. Where the heck did I... yeah, this is 1990s, so the hell wasn't a known word back then. Where the hell did these monsters come from? I managed to slip away, but I've been cornered here in the basement ever since. The only way I can get out of here is through the port on level B3. I should be able to find a boat or something used for transport research materials. The only problem is getting there in one piece. I think obviously this is like later on in the game. This is why it's not in like order of like when you go in the game. Doctor's Journal. This file can be found in the simulation device, inside the experiment simulation room on the facilities B1. It is easy to unleash any kind of power. The real task is keeping the power under control. The improvement of the insulator ignition device has enhanced energy efficiency to the maximum. Despite that progress, we have been unable to advance the development of the stabilizer safety valve since the accident has happened 3 years ago. The third energy theory will surely alter human history drastically, but as long as there is an uncertain element regarding the control of this power, even if it's only 0.1% of a probability, my work will be nothing but a terrible failure. The restraining power of the stabilizer we used in tonight's experiment was insufficient. There we are. The area affected by the excess energy is estimated to be a radius of 3,300 feet. The result of tonight's experiment may please the military people in a sense. The giant creature that emerged just after the experiment has given me much inspiration. The most important thing to do right now is to leave here safely. As soon as I finish analysing the data, I'll evacuate via the bottom floor. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's Dr. Kirk's memo right there. Generator instruction manual. It's located beside the terminal main panel of the third energy control room. How to activate and control the generator. Prepare to activate the generator by operating the main power on the upper floor of the control room. Move to the B3 area of the generator to set the installator. Operate the panel near the installator to connect the inhale shaft to the generator. Move to the B2 area to set the stabilizer. Activate the generator. Go back to the control room and adjust the output on the lower floor. When activating the generator, make sure the doctor is present. To avoid accidents, the generator cannot be activated without Dr. Kirk's ID card. So yeah, the next one is the instruction manual for the crane. This file can be read from the notice behind the control for the crane inside the carrying out room B1. How to use the fully automatic control card operated crane. The crane will execute its operations in order of the control cards specified on the program screen. The crane will indicate its operations once all the cards are set and start is selected. During the operation, even if there are errors in the program, those errors will be automatically adjusted by the computer. Thus, there is no possibility of any kind of accident occurring. Let me just check my recording levels. Yes, that's fine. Journal of the Guardsman. This might be a long one. This file can be found inside the locker room of the facility F1. Both codes are possible codes. Okay, so if you're doing a speed run of this game, just note them codes down. Before tonight's experiment, the Chief and Dr. Kirk will be having a meeting on the second floor lounge from 10 p.m. Those who are scheduled to guard should keep a preponderant eye on the area in front of the Chief's room and the surrounding vicinity. Before taking positions, please be sure to resupply your ammunition in the custody room. The weapon storage in the custody room can be opened with the combination that or that. Also, we have received information that spies have sneaked into the facility recently. If anything happens, you may have to enter the rooms of the Chief and the Professor in order to ensure their safety. You'll find a disc that contains the information you will need to access their rooms on top of the locker. That is all for now. Right, memo from an antenna operating engineer. It can be found inside the comm antenna room of the facility 2F. As a result of tonight's experiment, a strong magnetic storm may occur. Consequently, the communication department will close at 6 p.m. At that time, the antenna will be temporarily stored. To prepare for the emergency, be sure to check the weapon storage locker in the lounge. To unlock it, you can unlock it with the combination 8159. Recently, inexperienced guards has been assigned here, and a common problem is that they do not know how to use the DDK. Here are some points that may not be clear in the manual. Make sure that your staff becomes familiar with this important information. After you set the DDK to the door's locking device, you'll be asked to enter the password code. You will then need to derive the code using the basic elimination rule. Eliminate the key letters to reveal the correct code. Be sure you try this out by setting an actual DDK to the door locking device. For example, OXPYEZN is key XYZ. In the above case, the correct answer for the password will be open. That's the thing, with the DDK ones, I could never figure them out. I had to look up a guide. It's like I could never figure out the DDK codes. Alright, memo in data storage. Memo can be found in the data storage on the data storage inside the library of the facility B1. Dear Paul, I finally found a clue. This is the key card you'll need to enter his secret lab. The only chance to enter it is during tonight's experiment. Obtain the other key card without hesitation. The other key card is in the Chief's room. I heard the secret codes for the hidden safe are written on the key panels. Now, if we are to find out where the laboratory is, everything will be solved. I'll leave that to you. Good luck, Mike. People trying to get information. Memo on the whiteboard. His file can be read on the whiteboard inside the office of the facility's first floor. The change of personal documents for this individual has not been turned in yet. Paul Baker, page number 1123. Research your personnel changes. Old. Selection Special Aircraft Experiment Room. New. Selection Third Energy Stabilizer Experiment Room. Registration number 58104. Name Paul Baker. I don't know if that means anything, by the way. Some of this is like lore, some of this is clues and stuff. Memo to doctor on duty. The memo can be found on the table inside the medical room of the facility's B1. Dr. Sherwood, the ID card on the desk belongs to one of my patients. Please hand it to Colonel Clay when he shows up. He told me that he was going to be holding a meeting, in the strategy room on the first floor to make preparations for tonight's experiment. Please make sure to hand the card to him since one is required to enter the strategy room. Basically saying, oh, you need to go to this person, but this person's dead, but he's still got the card on him. Right, let's go back up here. New employee education. This file can be read upon examination of the desktop on the desk inside the management office of the facility F1. The desktop needs to be first turned on with the nearby switch. Please inform the new employee assigned to this department about DDK system as follows. The digital disk key, or DDK, is a system that secures our most important areas with an advanced locking device. To release the locks protected by the DDK, prepare and set the following 2 data disks on the locking device nearby the door. DDK code disk X, DDK input disk X. The type of the DDK you need is indicated on the door, A, B, etc. If the DDK type you use does not match, you cannot release the lock. Before operating the system, make sure that your DDK matches the door you wish to unlock. So you get like 2 different devices and you have to like set them on like the correct door. Right there. Notice to staff from Dr. Kirk. This file can be found inside the room past the level A security door in part storage. Notice preparing the stabilizer and the insulator. Make sure these 2 devices are ready in time for the experiment. Each of the 2 devices consists of the following 3 parts. Core parts: protect part A, protect part B. This means 6 parts are needed in all. These parts are separately stored in the experiment room and the designed room and part storage room. Once you've acquired all 6 parts, you can assemble them in the experiment room. The weightless manipulator must be operated by staff of level A class. So in other words, you've got to find a load of stuff. Notice messages 1. This file can be found inside the security pass room. Since we're going to move the experiment generator outside today, we expect to see external staff within the test area. As a final reminder, if the overload occurs in this laboratory, it will mean the obliteration of the entire facility. If you don't want to be evaporated, guard the area with extreme caution today. The staff has been working double overtime recently. Dr. Kirk in particular has locked himself in his private quarters for nearly a week. Nobody has seen him. Take good care of the researchers and remember that the experiment's success depends on their ability to think. Recently, the credibility gap of Dr. Kirk has been varied among the staff. Keep your eyes on the ID rewriting device here to prevent illiterate use. There has been an instance of someone abusing the rewriting device on the first floor. Keep your eyes open. So it's basically like it's saying that you can like rewrite the disk using the rewriting device. That's the thing, is like when you get there, like all the staff are dead and like Dr. Kirk's still alive. Yeah, spoiling the game that came out in the 90s. Where am I going? Oh, this section. Oh, they didn't add where the location is. Those who attend the activation of the generator for the first time in tonight's experiment should remember the following procedures. To activate the generator, the following two devices have to be set in advance: insulator and stabilizer. The functions of the two devices are as follows. Insulator generates the necessary energy for the first reaction when activating the generator. Stabilizer, the third energy reaction takes in the air and generates the energy in a chain reaction. This keeps the reaction under a certain level. You will find the models of the two parts in the case set at the generator. If you have not seen them, be sure to check and see what they look like. If you split the numbers that you use when obtaining the core parts and add O to each of the split numbers, they will give you pass numbers you'll need when obtaining the other two protective parts. Be careful when handling the pass numbers of the core parts. Right, that's basically like when it's basically a like fuses you have to use and swap them around to make the generators work. Notices to the staff. The file is located on the table inside the office of the facility's first floor. 3 years has passed since the tragic disaster. The performance of the newest stabilizer will be tested in tonight's experiment. 3 years ago, the third energy destroyed the facility and killed as many as 150 personnel from a single overflowing accident. So, to prevent a similar disaster from happening, we will take every possible precaution to reinforce our security. One more thing, we recently had a case in which someone used a terminal in this room and forged a fake ID to gain unauthorized access. Today, we are going to have a meeting in the strategy room on how to cope with this problem. In any case, all personnel should protect the security of the terminal. Upon leaving this room unattended, should lock the door without fail. Will you work there if you know 150 people died from like one thing that went wrong? Alright, old document. Again, location hasn't been updated on this. If the third energy reaction exceeds the critical point, it evokes an overload phenomenon. When this happens, we can't control it. The huge amount of energy creates chain reactions and begins to degenerate the surrounding air. The ensuing explosion will evaporate everything in the nearby vicinity. If we could control the area where the overload occurs, the third energy will literally become the ultimate weapon. The power of the weapon depends on how much energy we can restrain before the explosion occurs. In other words, the capability of the stabilizer is the key to everything. The third energy was supposed to be the project of the development policy. Create the basic power source for the permanently stationed weapon. If we change the policy of the project here and now, this government will be able to obtain the most deadly destructive device in the world. However, our current budget is completely out of the question. You'll find my estimate of the budget in the next chapter. Please review and consider. Files do not have names in Dino Crisis. Article names are on the wiki. Okay. Right, personal changes of researchers. This file is located in the front area of the entrance, next to the dead body of Mark Doyle. To access this file, you'll need the entrance key, found in the safe of the management's office. Personal changes of the researchers. Old section, Special Aircraft Experiment Room. New section, Third Energy Physics Laboratory. Registration number 57036. Mark Doyle. Giving him new instructions. In other words, Researchers Journal 1. This file can be found on the meeting table inside the research meeting room of the facilities B1. These are long ones, by the way. March. Third Energy. It is a system that can produce infinite energy from the air. The completion of this system will signify the end of one of society's greatest problems. It is true that the system was initially developed for military use, but we took part in the project because there's a silver lining in it for our future. But something is terribly wrong. The military has been giving us excessively favourable treatment for the simple development of a fundamental energy system. I must discover the true purpose of this project before irreparable harm is done. What on earth is that kid planning to do? April. I haven't found any clues in the past month. He is indeed a genius. He seems to have noticed our secret investigation activities. I heard that he established a secret lab on this floor somewhere. The only way to learn about his true intentions is to find that lab. July. At long last, Mike has found a clue pertaining to the location of the secret laboratory. He said that he hid the clue in our secret place inside the library room. Library room. Kirk has been meeting frequently with Colonel Clay, the leader of the project, in the computer room lately. What are they up to? Very dodgy stuff. Researcher's Journal 2. This file can be found inside the researcher's rest room. The kid pointed out the mistake in my calculations of the estimated value. The stimulation of the stabilizer. I mean, it seems that I miscalculated the timing of the third of the energy reaction at its crucial points by 6 nanoseconds. I admitted that I made a mistake, but he has a serious attitude problem. He doesn't seem to understand that we are all exhausted from having to work day and night on a regular basis. Yeah, that can completely fuck you over, by the way. Written by M. To M. Everyone feels the same way about Kirk as you do. It's time to let him know how we feel. I heard that you could create a lethal poison by mixing certain drugs together. They said you have to mix the strongest anesthetic with something else. Well, that may be going too far, I suppose. Written by K. This might be Kirk. To K. You are pathetic. You can't see Dr. Kirk devotes himself to the experiment without care of anything else. Blaming others for your mistakes only emphasize your cowardice. I hold you all responsible should the experiment go wrong thanks to your blundering. Maybe you should be the one watching your back in case someone should accidentally inject you with the poison. Written by someone. So in other words, they're getting too deep into it. Researchers Journal 3. Located inside a container of the downstairs part of the third energy control room. Since I was assigned to this department, all I've done is sample the simulation data of the generator. Even a college student could handle these tasks. Why doesn't Kirk want us to operate the generator? Doesn't he trust our ability and skill? Written by O. To O. I don't think the problem is so simple, because his ID card is required to operate the generator. Once an accident occurs, Kirk is the only person who can stop it. I don't see what the military is planning to do with the combining nonsensical procedure. Written by N. I have an idea. It's about that guy Tom who was recently assigned to the B1 area. He often comes to me to ask about our job. I guess he couldn't resist my charming personality. Why don't we invite him to our group and have him spy on Dr. Kirk? This should work as he is good at gaining confidence of other people. Written by B to B. Don't be so simple-minded. Have you already forgotten that you're trying to get Dr. Kirk's attention until recently? Learn to think a bit more logically first. At any rate, the male researchers here don't seem to know much about anything beyond research. Maybe you ought to try showing the next one you become close friends with the wonders of shampoo and the washing machine. Written by C. So yeah, they do want to get like very close to Kirk. Researcher's memo can be found on the table inside the power frequency room at the facility B2. Note that the purpose of cohesion, the Dino Crisis Wiki refers to the code as that through that is also possible. Okay, so it might be one of them codes. Kirk has been hiding everything from the researchers recently. In a demonstration of solidarity, the B1 lab, area staff have decided to investigate what Kirk and the military personnel are up to. As a start, we managed to set a wiretapping device at the parts storage area where they've been holding meetings. The device is sound activated and records automatically. It can also play back the recordings. It may be the best way to come up with some clues. We need Kirk's ID card to check the generator. We already know his registration number. It is 31415. All we need now is to forge his ID card and fingerprint data. So it looks like some of the lab workers kind of know want to know what he's really up to. Security Manual Volume 1 can be found on the table inside the main B1 of the facility. DDK, the electronic lock system of this facility, has been updated. A more a more code system has been introduced, and the security level has been improved. You will need to be aware of the following information when entering the password. Number-based key decoding part 1. In the case where the numbers are written instead of letters, the key field in the numbers could represent the codes for the corresponding characters. Here is an example of the correspondence charts between letters and the code numbers. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. It's pretty easy to understand. Security Manual Volume 2 can be found beside the powered up terminal inside the computer room. DDK, the electronic lock system in this facility, has been updated. Yep, we also know that. Number-based key decoding part 2. In the case where the numbers are written instead of letters, the key field in the numbers could indicate the columns to be deleted. For example, if 2 is the keyword, you should delete all the letters from the second column of the code. Staff memo. This file is placed on the terminal inside the control room B3. Attention, Alan. Oh, what the fuck has Alan done? The weapon container at the general weapon storage will be carried out from the port next week. Please finish the maintenance of the crane within the week. I'll hand you the DDK to enter the port so you can finish the job. make sure that you keep it on you at all times. Oh, it's about the crane thing that you need to do. Right. Oh, there you go. Third energy basic theory written by Edward Kirk. This file can be read upon examining the desktop in the back room of the Special Weapons Storage Facility B3. Third energy basic concept. The technology to extract the energy from the ions in the atmosphere. This is the heart of the third energy. If you control the flow of the ions by ionizing the constitution in the air, then you can extract the resultant electron movement as energy. The basic concept is simple. The electrons from which energy of the movement is extracted or was extracted combines with the ions to once again form the original constitution or constellation. There's constitution. However, due to the current level of technology, it is impossible to return it to 100% of its original constitution. The waste constitute yields a peroxide that is similar to the ozone as a byproduct. However, it is not at a high level enough to threaten the concept of the proposed clean energy source. So yeah, that's basically it. I think, like, yeah, it's everything here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, third in. Yeah, that was the last one. I'm gonna put this in the link in the description. It's a really interesting read. To be fair, next Tuesday will be Dino Crisis 2 files. To be fair, I haven't played this game in years. It's like last time I played it was like the early 2000s. I'll probably have to go back to it again, like see if I can do it as like a let's play or something. But it's basically all codes and like picking up keys and that. It's like, yeah. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.